Welcome along. And it is not a full-on championship check-in podcast tonight. We are abridged because it's Christmas, but we still wanted to come and talk to you lot and say hello and a happy Christmas. And we're going to do everybody's favourite segment tonight. The one segment from the pod we can do with limited preparation and limited time, the predictions. First of all, Sam, happy bloody Christmas. How much have you eaten? How much have you slept?
Happy Christmas, mate. Oh, I had a bit of a dicky tummy, didn't I? Early part of the festivities, but I was back for Christmas dinner, which was tremendous. Yeah, down at the in-laws, which is Christchurch, that's outside of Bournemouth. So strategically, got to Bournemouth v Fulham for a bit of work on Boxing Day. But it's been lovely, mate. And I'm down to St Mary's tomorrow night, so back amongst it in the Championship. Hurly-burly tomorrow. But it's been great.
I'm kind of pleased that we did kind of miss that week with Ipswich losing 4-0 and Sam Parkin's 2 goals at Ellen Road being played on Twitter about 5 zillion times in that week. But get yourself ready in the chat if you want to join in with the predictions. Say hello as well if we've got time to do that. First of all, Mr. Parkin. Now, this was for round 23. We didn't obviously have a show in between Saturday 23rd and Boxing Day. How did the predictions go, Sam? What are these scores?
Basically, just an opportunity for me to show off here, just complete irrelevance to anyone that's tuning in to watch this. Well, I got 2 on the nose. Last round. Yeah, I got Millwall 0, Stoke City 0, and I got Norwich 2, Huddersfield 0. You got 1 on the nose. If you recall, I went for Leicester to beat Rotherham 5-0. You actually got that bang on. Leicester 3, Rotherham 0.
You went for the bonus point, didn't you?
I did indeed. So therefore, considering I got 4 more results correct and the 2 bang on, I got a grand total of 10 points in the last round, which could be heady heights.
I bet someone in the chat's beaten that.
And you got the 1 bang on, and you got 4 other results right as well as me. So you got 7 points, which means your margin of 4 has been cut to 1. Scores on the doors,
at the moment, isn't
it? 33 points, Benjamin Bloom. 32 points, me.
Wow.
1 point in it. It's the cream's rising, basically.
It's hotting up. QPR rising. Actually, it's the Ben versus Sam derby in this round of games, isn't it? It is Ipswich QPR coming up. Let us know your scores in the comments if you're watching after the fact. But let us know your predictions as we go. Indeed, we are about to kick into round 25 in the Championship. Stick the name of the team and the scoreline in there just to help me out. Try and stick with the game we're on at the time if you're watching in real time. And Sam, you can go first because you're showing off and getting all of these correct. 16 games undefeated. 3rd place now, Southampton, hosting managerless Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, I'm like enjoying taking a bit of credit for this, considering the first game of this run was the last time I saw them live at St Mary's beating Leeds. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow. If you're listening to the wireless, TalkSport 2, I would imagine tomorrow night. Me and the majestic Jim Proudfoot. So that's a seriously good commentator. Don't know about the co-commentator. I mean, they're formidable at the moment. I'm really looking forward to seeing them, actually. You know, I spoke a little bit on the last podcast about their shape and what have you. Kyle Walker-Peters, I think, played the right wing role in this, if you haven't seen. Last time out, Swansea they beat, wasn't it? And Jack Stevens kind of shoehorned in. He's obviously been wanting to get him minutes in at right back. So 6 on the spin at St Mary's. See it continuing. Plymouth Argyle will score because they normally do. And they're scoring freely despite their disruption. 3-1 Saints.
Oh, you've stolen a lot of my thunder there, Sam. You can't really back against Southampton at the moment, can you? They're just on fire. So I'll just I'll echo everything you said and try and revise the scoreline. I'll go 2-1 Saints then instead of 3-1 Saints. And we will roll on. And I'm hearing in the chat and on various WhatsApp groups I'm in, Steve Cooper being linked with the Birmingham City job because Wayne Rooney, and I'm going to use the Sam Parkinism here, lambasted his players after the Boxing Day shenanigans. It's Birmingham City versus Bristol City, Sam. And this all points to a Bristol City win, doesn't it? With the Robins winning 4-1 at Watford. So I will back it. I'm backing the chaos. We want Steve Cooper back in the Championship, even though he's waiting around for a Premier League job. So I'm going to back the away win. I'll go Birmingham 0, Bristol City 2. What do you say, Parkin?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. That said, Birmingham have decided to start scoring, haven't they? So I think they will score. But I think Bristol City will go 4 on the bounce. I'm going 2-1 to the away team.
I've got a similar glow to you because I saw Leicester City in the flesh. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't even know what days I'm on anymore. They've got some very, very good players, haven't they? Cardiff versus Leicester, Sam.
I will just go for Cardiff being in a little bit of a slump. And yeah, of course, Leicester. I think I saw Matt Holland last night, so I had a bit of a chat with him on the gantry at Chelsea about the Ipswich Leicester game, and he was very impressed with Leicester. Not to denote how well Ipswich did to stay in the game and get the point, but Leicester were at it. I think they'll be too strong for Cardiff here, but I think the congested Christmas period may just make this a more level match than it potentially could have been a few weeks ago. I'll go Cardiff 0, Leicester 1.
Can I double you up? Are you going to allow it?
Yeah, no problem.
Leicester in that first half against Ipswich, Sam, for about 10, 15 minutes, mate, they were superb. The way and the strategy and the team shape of bringing the keeper out into the back four. And I know we talked about the difference between how Leicester have done it and how Southampton have done it, but really, really fun watch. But I agree with you. I think Cardiff will keep it tight. So we are going to double up on that one. Let me just click through a few more score predictions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us live in the chat. Also, thank you to people like Jay as well, who you can see are members of the channel. You can get involved with that. And I've forgotten to say, Sam, can you just point above your left shoulder? We are in association with Match Bingo today. There you go, up above your head. I'll show you my bingo card in a minute. But first, I've got to talk to you about Coventry versus Swansea. And I've got to back Coventry on this one, Sam, especially after that 5-0. I think they'll go back to, still without a manager as well, aren't they? I think they'll go back to basics, so it'll be closer than that. But I'm going to go Coventry 1, Swansea 0, Sam. What are you saying?
I'm a little bit more optimistic about goals in this game for both teams. 6 unbeaten Coventry now, aren't they? A real inconsistency at Swansea, obviously under an interim manager. I think this could be good fun. I'm going 5 goals sharing. 3-2 Cov here.
So let me get this right. That's not a bonus point because the margin of victory is not quite big enough, but it's a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I expect you to be a bit cagey, mate, because you've got the 1 point buffer. So you're not going to be giving away points willy-nilly, are you?
Willy-nilly, dear me. Sorry, let me put some more of the chat up. Yes, Sam, you did. Sam, send me your number and we'll get you in the group chat. Right, it's Huddersfield versus Middlesbrough. I always call this a Neil Warnock derby because it's his 2 most recent teams, Sam, Huddersfield and Middlesbrough. Possibly, I can't even remember now. He's had so many. But how do you see this one going, Sam? Huddersfield, great win for Huddersfield last time out, by the way. 3-0 over Blackburn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Blackburn are just great fun, aren't they? You just don't know what you're going to get from them. I think this is very, very tricky. There's such an inconsistency with Middlesbrough at the moment. I think Huddersfield maybe will have burnt themselves out to a degree. And Middlesbrough have still got good players. I'm going to go for a tight 2-1 away win.
You know, quite like that as a prediction. Do you know what? I tend to overestimate Borough this season, starting with my 1 to 24 predictions and putting them second. So I'll go for a different outcome then, Sam, and not be tactical like you're suggesting. I'll go for a boring old 1-1 draw in this one. Honours even. And let's move on to Hull versus aforementioned Blackburn. Could be anything Blackburn. So I trust Hull a bit more than I trust Rovers in terms of what to expect. We're not expecting the draw, are we? Because it's Blackburn. So I'm going to back Hull, Sam. And should we go silly? Hull 3, Blackburn 2. There you go. What do you reckon?
Well, I reckon we should give each other a bonus point on the score of our choice, the result of our choice. So basically, I'll choose one for you. You can have a bonus point for that. Okay. All right. I'll stick it in there in brackets. I'm going to take the draw here, mate. You took it on the previous game. I know Blackburn don't like the share of the spoils, but Hull are particularly inconsistent, up and down at home. Blackburn lost the last 3 away. I can't see that continuing because they're a great watch, especially on the road at times, the way they cut through teams. That Norwich game springs to mind. Always think back to watching that Millwall game in its entirety, the end of last season. So I think they'll get back at it here, but point each, 1-1.
1-1. Guys, we're going to get into match 7 really, really quickly. As Sam did point above his head, we are in association with Match Bingo. We really do appreciate their support with the podcast. You can go and get involved tonight for free, and we're going to get a bonus prediction from Sam Parkin because you can get a free card for Arsenal versus West Ham. Just head over to Match Bingo app, and it's absolutely free to play tonight. Sam, I need an attempt saved, but Alphonse Areola has, this is from an Arsenal point of view, has saved 52 this season. I need a left-footed goal for West Ham. Jared Bowen has 6. So that looks promising. I also need a goal awarded in any minute ending in 5. And Sam, look, you can take a horse to water. Look how easy we're making this for everybody. We got a bloody QR code now. So just pause the, well, actually, if you're watching on your phone, how are you going to take a picture of the QR code? Get it up on your laptop or your iPad or whatever. Go to that QR code. It'll take you to matchbingo.co.uk/BBFC. And Sam's going to tell you really quickly what the score is going to be in Arsenal versus West Ham tonight. Go.
Oh, mate, I'm only interested in the mid-table of the Premier League and the basement battle. Top of the Premier League, what did he do, Moyes? He rolled the dice, didn't he, at Anfield? It backfired, then they beat United. Oh, that's a big game. Narrow victory, 2-1 Arsenal. Maybe one of those crazy last minutes at the Emirates.
Oh, I was at the Luton game where they scored in the 97th minute to win 4-3. Yeah, apparently, if Gray guesses right, you can just screenshot the QR code and that will still work. So head over to Match Bingo. And Sam, we said before Christmas, £1,000 on that Ipswich Norwich game. And one of our watchers, Paul, won the jackpot. So do get involved. Free to play tonight for Arsenal West Ham. Why am I procrastinating, Sam? Because it is the Ben versus Sam derby. It's Ipswich versus QPR. And Sam, no Morsey, no Hurst.
Ooh. I'll take a goal off for that then, shall I? There we go. I listened to the second half of Millwall QPR in my seat at the Vitality Stadium. My goodness me, it sounded Drabsville. So QPR, they need January, don't they? Because for all the good that the manager's done, and I think in the early weeks we saw that this was a really good appointment, clever appointment, much needed appointment. That form subsided. The lack of thrust and goal threat is so evident to me. So they're not going to score again, and they're going to get beaten 2-0.
2-0, says Sam. Obviously, a little bit less confident without Morsey and Hurst. I think I'm going to agree with this one from Jay Crick and one from Jack here and one from Neil. I'll edit your prediction a little bit, Sam. I'll go Ipswich to win, but it to be close because of the captain and the striker not being around. And keep your eye on the January transfer window and a number 9 coming into Portman Road. I'm not in the know, but just assume that's going to happen. 2-1 I will go for. And them up the road, Sam, Millwall versus Norwich. I suppose it's me going first on this one. I've got mixed. I remember when Farker started at Norwich, I remember them losing 4-0 at Millwall, but I also remember them going back the next season and winning 4-0 there. So I'm not in my brain. This could go either way. I think this might be a draw, Sam. I make Norwich slight favourites at the moment. I think they're sort of playing pretty well and the results are fairly decent. I know went to West Brom and lost, but there was a red card in the game, which makes a difference, doesn't it? So let's go Desmond. We haven't had one yet. Millwall 2, Norwich 2. Sam, what do you reckon?
One of the hardest of the week, I would suggest. I mean, you can just see the results that are filtering through there. The predictions, nobody's got the same result. I mean, this could be anything.
Yeah, right.
Norwich have had some good away narrow victories, haven't they, over the last month or so? Millwall on a good run. I think one defeat in 4, and that was relatively good showing at Leicester, certainly in terms of the scoreline. I'll go for Millwall to nick this 1-0. Don't think they've had a 1-0 yet under Joe Edwards. This is going to be it.
Mill. Preston versus Sheffield Wednesday. Just quickly, Sam, you played at Millwall. When they do the Mill and you're on the pitch, what is that like?
Do you know what? And this is probably a massive shout. I don't think it was all the rage.
Oh, not back then?
25 years ago.
Okay.
There may be people that come on the chat now and say they've been doing it since day dot at the old den, but I don't really recall that. I just remember the song they come out to, which my sister loved. And my sister's only ever been to 2 of my matches, so she still remembers that, to the den, and
nice,
obviously the No One Likes Us. I don't really remember the moo.
Sam, I'm neutral, and I sit there at Millwall watching. I start joining in. I don't even know I'm doing it. It's just a fun long note, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because loads of predictions are coming in for Preston versus Wednesday. There you go. I'll give you a bit of help with what the guys are saying in the chat here. They're heavy on a draw, actually, Sam. What do you reckon?
I'll have my bonus point here, please, mate. I am going to give you a little curveball. And despite what the last 2 they've lost, haven't they? I'm not convinced Preston would have got a job done with 11v11. I mean, stating the bleeding obvious there. And I'm not convinced they're going to all of a sudden go on a consistent run. So therefore, I think my mate, Danny Roll, is going to come up trumps. 2-1. 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday.
Bonus point, that one, is it?
2-1 Sheffield Wednesday. That's a bonus point for me.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
And can I just say on the podcast, 3 weeks ago, Sam spoke about Liam Miller. You know, it's just listen to the show. Yeah, let's listen to the show. What a goal by Liam Miller. Well, I'll back Preston then after the good win. I'll go for the feeling to be high. I'm going to flip your result around and I'll go for a 2-1 win to Preston. So we've got both bases covered. Rotherham versus Sunderland. What a win for Rotherham against Borough. Did you see the XG, Sam? I know people get preoccupied with XG and get a bit emotional about it, but wasn't the most viable win in the world. But the Millers bloody well needed that, didn't they? 11 games without a win. So I'm buttering the Millers fans up here, and then I'm about to predict that Sunderland are going to go there and win, I'm afraid. So let's go for a Mick Beale win, and let's go for 2-0 to the Mackems. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, same thought process, really. I've got the shots. It was 3 shots to 20. The Rotherham.
Go on, Rotherham.
Victory. So, like one of the previous games, I just don't know if they'll be able to do it with a quick turnaround, lightning striking twice. Sunderland, again, I think of them being good fun when it clicks. You know, they're excellent away from home, especially. So I think 2-goal cushion sounds good to me. 1-3.
1-3. And Sam, you are going to be first up for, I need to scroll down, my bad. Sorry, everybody. Watford versus Stephen Schumacher and Stoke City.
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of Watford, clearly. Well, we did a bit on them, didn't we, a few weeks ago, and quite a lot to like. Quite a lot to like. And then got resoundingly thumped at home by Bristol City, wasn't it not? I think they possibly get back to winning ways here. There's obviously going to be a lot for Stephen Schumacher to do, despite, you know, having a really promising start. 4 points from his 2 off the top of my head. I think they'll score, but I think, yeah, maybe his woes on the road, if we can call that so far this season with Argyle, will maybe continue in the short term. I'll go 2-1 Watford.
Yeah. I've got my blooming Ipswich hat on because the next game is Stoke versus Ipswich. So I'm trying not to get in my own head here, but I was I was going to back Watford as well. So I'm going to tuck in now. I'm going to play tactically and try and get one over on you. So I'll back the draw, and I'm going to go dull as dishwater. Not the match, but the outcome. You know what I'm about to say, Sam. 1-1. And finally, do we get a bounce back from Leeds United? They're on telly at West Brom, which is a difficult away game. It's Carlos Corberon against his former club. Sam, I don't see West Brom winning. I think Leeds get a reaction. I didn't have to talk about Leeds beating Ipswich 4-0, but Somerville, Jesus Christ, what a player. I think they're going to win, Sam, aren't they? But you're not beating West Brom by 2 goals, are you? 1-0. West Brom 0, Leeds United 1.
This is where I'm going to make my money.
Are you flipping it?
I wanted to call him Ken Darlow. It's not, is it? It's Carl Darlow.
Oh, Mackey's mate.
Yeah.
He's going to start, isn't he?
Yeah. I hope his nickname's Ken. Should be, shouldn't it?
Oh, like Ken Barlow. I've just got it. Yeah.
It's a bit tenuous, isn't it? But yeah, that shouldn't disrupt him too much. Was it last year? He was brilliant for a period, wasn't he? Maybe last year or the season before. So that shouldn't disrupt too much. I just think Corberan, again, the way he will structure it, I think it's too obvious to go for the 1-0. There was obviously that catastrophic ending against Leicester when they'd done quite well, hadn't they? And looked like they were going to get something out of that game. I'm going to flip that one. It was Leicester winning 2-1 at the Hawthorns. I'm going to go for West Bromwich Albion 2. Leeds 1. Just a little bit of a wobble to continue. They'll get over it. Leeds, no problem at all. But I think that, to coin a phrase from earlier in the season, it might get worse before it gets better. D-Ream.
There you go. Sam, that is the predictions. Beans, we've got you on. Can I ask you a couple more questions for 2 more minutes?
Me or someone else?
Oh, you.
Yeah. Go.
Let's give the audience some bang for their buck, Beans. There's no full podcast here. So, look, Sam, we've got through the Christmas period. We've had a change in the table. Southampton moving into 3rd. I saw Leicester the other night. Obviously, I'm not changing my mind on them winning the title. Ipswich now without Hurst for, quote, a significant amount of time. Where is the power in a US power rankings type thing, Sam? Is it now with Southampton in that 2nd place chase?
Can I tell you at midnight tomorrow night when I'm on my way back on the M3?
You can text me, but you're live on the internet right now.
No, I wouldn't say so just yet. You know, I'd have to see how this settles down in the new year for Leeds United. I'm talking about here and for Southampton if they can continue in this vein. So I wouldn't be able to separate those two and say who's the most likely to heap pressure on Ipswich or potentially overturn them. I agree with you about Leicester. I think that the last kind of 3 or 4 games has just re-established everyone's belief in them after 4 or 5 games where they weren't convincing, were they? They dropped points. They won some games where they didn't play well. I think they've reaffirmed everyone's thoughts and beliefs about the Championship in the last couple of games. So I'll have to wait and see. And I suppose to put it back onto you, how paramount is it now that Ipswich get a striker, or is that?
Oh, they can't function without someone doing that role, Sam. Yeah, it's utterly. They can get through a few games, but if Hurst is out for 6 to 8 weeks, then that's a guess. I mean, did you ever tear your hamstring, Sam?
No, I had hamstring problems in my last year, but it was probably.
Did any of your teammates, and how long were they out for? And you've got to ease it back in as well, haven't you?
I mean, a minor tear is 6 weeks, is it?
Yeah,
not?
exactly.
For like you can do much more severe ones, but I suppose, I just think Leeds away from home is a bit of a kind of funny quirk, isn't it, of the season so far. They've just not turned up in a few of the away games. Is that 4 maybe now they've lost on the road? Maybe 5. So, so formidable at Ellen Road. You know, we're talking on the back of one of the most standout results of the season. I did not see that coming, especially the way that Ipswich have been in contrast to how they've been at Portman Road, you know, very watertight away from home. And they just completely capitulated to a degree that afternoon. So I see Leeds continuing. They just need to find a way away from home, starting with one of the trickiest assignments of the season. So, yeah, I think a lot of it will probably boil down to them improving in that regard and what Ipswich do in the window to give them that little thrust forward.
You got time for one more?
Yeah.
Sam's got to be on the radio, everybody. He's not just running off. I think the most common question is Birmingham fans in the chat today, Sam, talking about Rooney. I always remember Paul Hurst at Ipswich going quickly and throwing the players under the bus, and it just, if you go in with that too soon, it's problematic. Are we almost full circle already with Rooney if he loses the next couple?
Well, I had no thought that it was going to be anything but 16th, 17th, 18th place finished as it has been for the last 6 or 7 seasons. Sorry if I've done Birmingham a disservice there, but it feels like they're perennially finishing in those type of positions. And that was my feeling for them again ahead of this season. So the owners won't feel that, share that sentiment. So I don't know. I would imagine it wasn't anticipated that it would get them promoted this year, but it would have been anticipated they'd be doing a darn sight better. I've not seen them in the last couple of games to pass judgment. It depends how Wayne Rooney is around the place, how he's cajoling the players at training, how enjoyable the day-to-day is. You can kind of accept the results as a player if the feeling around the training ground is enjoyable and he's good as a man manager. Obviously, the comments sometimes don't go down particularly well, but I wouldn't read too much into that at all. I think the only people that know the outcome here are the owners, aren't they? How desperate they are for quick success. And if they still believe that Wayne Rooney's the man, obviously it came with huge risk. I think we think back to his time at Derby, how much of it was him coming to life on a match day to day, how much of it was Liam Rosenior. I think it was probably quite a lot of Rosenior on the training ground. So we'll see. I'll pass judgment when I've had a better look at them over the next couple of weeks.
You can give a yes/no answer. I promise it's the last one. But Bristol City probably would have been Parkin's pick if we'd been doing a podcast over a full podcast. They're in great form. Any chance of them sustaining and being around the playoff positions?
Well, I think it would be one of the stories of the season. I'd say no for now. I don't think that the squad is as complete as Liam Manning will want it. And I think he'll need a couple of windows to get it there. So, yeah, they scored 4 at Watford the other day. Scored 3 in one of the recent home games, didn't they? So, I don't think there's maybe as big a problem as I felt in terms of the goal scoring, but I still think, they'll need a striker, need to improve in most of the areas to make that dart. But Luton, Coventry, they've proved that there's always one surprise, or there can be a surprise in the second tier, and why not? But again, that would be an incredible achievement.
Brilliant. Sam, with Jim Proudfoot on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night. If you're watching that, turn off the commentary on the TV and listen to those two.
NSYNC it up.
NSYNC. What's the best NSYNC? Bye, 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 bye. Don't want to be a fool for you. That's noughties rather than 90s, which is not. I'm more of a 90s guy, but there you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Short podcast. Keep looking out on the socials. We will try and drop one in. It'll probably be after another 2 rounds of games because we play on the 29th and the 1st. And the next podcast will probably be the back end of that week. And if you hadn't noticed, we were nominated for an award. They didn't quite get the name of the show correct. But if you do want to vote for us, we don't do it for this sort of thing. We do it because we love our football. But if you do want to vote for us, we'll be very, very grateful. And if you tag us in the tweet, Sam and I will retweet that as well. We'll see you all very soon. I'll probably jump on and watch along tomorrow night, but I don't want to go head to head with Mr. Parkin and do Southampton versus Plymouth. But we'll see what transpires during the day. And I'll bid you a fond farewell. Sam, do you want to wish the listeners and the watchers a happy new year?
Have a great New Year, everyone. New Year's Eve. I have started adding a few little bits for my fancy dress outfit. I've got to go to a New Year's Eve party dressed as a famous John. Do what you want with it.
You cannot be serious.
That would be very straightforward for me because I have, well, normally it's Bjorn Borg, my go-to. I've got an 80s racket, 70s racket, I've got the Barnet, I've got the Feeler white trackie. Is outstanding. I had to get it from one of those like vintage sites, so it cost me a few quid.
Expensive.
But I'm going a little bit more rogue, so maybe I'll don the outfit in the first week back.
I cannot wait. Unbelievable. Sam,
sport,
thanks.
He's involved in sport. He's involved in sport or was involved in sport.
Okay, you're going to tell me when we finish and we'll get guesses in the comments. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Get your predictions in if you're watching after the fact and not live. Stick them in the comments. And we'll see you next week for a proper championship check-in.